There's been a lot of talk lately about ASE certifications and whether they actually mean anything. You'll hear people say, I know a master tech that can't fix a car to save his life. And on the flip side, you've guys saying that certifications are what separate you from everyone else and prove you know what you're doing. So which one is it? Are these certifications actually valuable, or are they just something that looks good on paper? Because this debate keeps coming up, especially online. And it's usually the same arguments over and over again. So in this video, I'm going to break down what ASE certification really means, where it matters, where it doesn't, and give you my honest take from being in this industry for a long time and seeing both sides of this play out in the real world. All right, before I get into it, I want to give you a little background so you know exactly where I'm coming from. I've been an ASE certified technician since I was about 20 years old, and I've kept that certification active throughout my entire career. I hold Master Technician status with certifications from A1 through A8, along with L1 Advanced Engine Performance. I've also got certifications in Undercar Specialist, Refrigerant Recovery and Recycling, and I'm an ASE Certified Service Consultant. And over the years, I've continued going back through the recertification process to keep my credentials current, which means staying up to date and making sure I still understand the material as the industry evolves. So this isn't something I just did once and then I forgot about. This is something I've stayed committed to throughout my entire career. When you've got to go back and earn it again every few years, it keeps you honest. Now let's really dig into the argument, because this is where most of the confusion comes from. You've got on the one side, you've got technicians saying certifications don't mean anything. They'll say things like, I know certified techs that can't diagnose a car, or that test doesn't make you a good mechanic. And to be fair, there's truth to that, and I've seen it myself. I've worked with and even hired technicians who had certifications on paper, but struggled when it came to the real world performance. But then on the other side, you've got people saying certifications absolutely matter, that they show professionalism, commitment, and a level of knowledge that not everyone has. And that's also true. The problem is, most people try to turn this into a yes or no answer, when the reality is a lot more in the middle. So let's talk about what ASE certification actually represents. At its core, it's a knowledge-based test that measures your understanding of automotive systems, how they work and how they interact, and how to approach diagnosing problems. It's not testing how fast you are or how productive you are in a shop. It's testing whether you understand the fundamentals. And those fundamentals matter, especially with modern vehicles. If you don't understand how a system is supposed to work, it becomes a lot harder to diagnose it when something goes wrong. Experience teaches you what to do, but knowledge teaches you why you're doing it. So passing those tests shows that you put in the effort to learn that information, to understand it at a certain level. And another important part of this that people don't always think about, ASE is constantly updating these tests. As technology changes, as vehicles evolve, that material gets updated to stay relevant. So when you go back and recertify, you're not just repeating the same information. You're being tested on newer systems, newer technology, and the direction the industry is going. And when you've got to go back and recertify every few years, it really forces you to stay sharp. Now let's break down what these certifications actually cover, because a lot of people hear Master Technician and don't really understand what goes into that. The A1 through A8 certification tests cover the core areas of automotive repair. A1 is engine repair, A2, automatic transmission, A3 is manual drivetrain and axles, A4, steering and suspension, A5 is brakes, A6 is electronic systems, and A7 is heating and air conditioning, A8 is engine performance. That's basically the entire vehicle. Then you've got L1, which is advanced engine performance. That one goes deeper into diagnostics, things like complex drivability issues, advanced electrical systems, and system interactions. And that's not an easy test, and it really challenges your understanding. The Undercar Specialist certification focuses more deeply on suspension, steering, and exhaust and brake systems beyond the basic level. The Refrigerant Recovery and Recycling certification is about properly handling AC systems and refrigerants, which is important for both the job and for regulations. Then the Service Consultant certification is more on the customer side. Communication, estimating, and being able to explain technical issues in a way that customers can understand easily. So when you look at all of that together, it's not just one certification, it's a wide range of knowledge across an entire industry. Now, even with all that, this is where the disconnect still happens. Certification is knowledge, but real-world skill is application, and those are two very different things. I've seen technicians who can pass every test, but then they struggle when they're actually in the bay trying to diagnose a problem. And I've seen the opposite, guys who are very hands-on and efficient, but don't fully understand what they're working on. That becomes a limitation as cars get more advanced. A certification won't make you a great technician, but not having one doesn't make you one either. The best technicians are the ones who have both. They understand the theory and they can apply it in real-world situations. They aren't choosing between knowledge and experience. They're building both. And I'm going to be real here, because I think this is the part of the conversation that doesn't get said enough. A lot of the people who argue that certifications don't matter are often the ones who don't have them, and sometimes it's because they've tried and couldn't pass the test. Now, that's not everyone, but it does happen, and it's easier to dismiss something than to put in the effort needed to achieve it. If it truly didn't matter, there wouldn't be so much pushback against it. It's funny how something doesn't matter until someone asks you to prove you know it. At the same time, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that certifications make you a great technician, because they don't. I've hired ASE technicians who just didn't perform. They struggled with diagnostics, they weren't productive, and they just weren't a good fit in a real shop environment. And that's a reality. This is a performance-based industry. You've got to be able to do the work, not just understand it. So certifications are one piece of the puzzle, but they're not the whole picture. The shop doesn't pay you for what you know, it pays you for what you can do with it. But even with all that, certifications still matter. They show initiative. They show that someone is willing to invest in themselves. They demonstrate a baseline level of knowledge that you can build on. And from a hiring standpoint, that matters. If I've got two candidates and one has certification and the other doesn't, that tells me something about their mindset. It tells me one of them is willing to go a step further. A piece of paper doesn't turn wrenches, but it tells me what you know before you pick one up. And then, of course, there's the business side, which a lot of technicians don't even think about. Certifications can impact your ability to partner with companies like AAA, RepairPal, CarMax. These organizations often require certified technicians as part of their standards. So even though certification isn't legally required to work on cars, it can absolutely be required if you want to grow your business and build credibility in the community. When it comes to factory training versus ASE certification, they serve different purposes. Factory training gives you in-depth knowledge on specific vehicles provided by the manufacturer, while ASE certification gives you a broader understanding across the industry. Ideally, you want both. The more well-rounded you are, the better technician you're going to be. So the bigger picture here is that the industry is changing fast. Vehicles today are far more complex than they used to be. You're dealing with electronics, software, hybrid systems, turbocharging, things that require a deeper level of understanding. The days of just figuring it out as you go are starting to fade. You've got to stay current, and certifications are one way to help do that. Cars didn't get easier, they got smarter, and if you don't keep up, you'll fall behind. With all that said, here's my honest take. ASE certifications are not everything, but they are definitely not nothing. They won't make you a great technician on their own, but they can absolutely make you a better one. They're a tool, and like any tool, it's up to you how you use it. Combine that with real-world experience, and that's where you really separate yourself. So I'm curious where all you guys stand on this. Do you think certifications actually matter, or is it all about experience? Have you worked with certified techs that impressed you, or ones that didn't? Certifications don't make you a great technician, but ignoring them won't make you one either. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is one of the topics where everyone's got an opinion, and that's what makes it a good conversation. Let's talk about it.